Assalamu alaikum, everybody. This is TSF, and we are here with another movie review, which I kind of blame all these three people with me who forced me to watch this. I don't even know what to call it, but yeah, it's a movie. The Tomorrow War, otherwise known as Chris Pratt Constant Pikachu Face movie. So we're gonna talk
Yep.
about it and review about it, even
Surprise
though there's not
Pikachu.
surprised Pikachu face. I have no idea. Although to his credit, his acting was nice, but what was with that Pikachu face? I would like an explanation. What kind of direction was he getting to make that face in a situation where that face wasn't required much? But all right, okay. But we're gonna talk about the Tomorrow
Probably be
War.
like
we get
be
to
Tom Holland, but more adult.
we
Yeah,
get to
that
it.
that is a surprisingly
Yeah.
good analogy. But yeah, Tomorrow War. So we're gonna start off with Sameen. Sameen, what are your thoughts on the movie?
Yeah, I want to start. My thoughts on the movie are what the hell? What's going on? Like, okay, time travel. It was such an interesting concept. Like when I saw the first trailer, but what the hell? Like, it was so confusing that there's like so many loopholes and everything popping up. Like, first of all, I want an explanation as to when they were jumping into the future, why was there a coordinate malfunction? They never explained that. Like, did the white spikes attack or something, someplace that caused a coordination issue? Because before that, all the people who had been sent before, there had been no issues. Why did it have to happen on Chris Pratt's
True that. I
turn?
mean,
All those innocent
was
people who died in the
somebody a
jump.
rebel in their ranks? Somebody, a traitor among them? Were the white spikes suddenly able to transform into humans? We never got to know that. But yeah,
The
Junaid,
only
what
comments,
about you?
what the hell and why?
Yeah.
Okay, firstly,
That is the review.
I'll
We're
just
done.
start off with the attack on Qatar for the 2020 the next World Cup.
Oh
If you
yeah.
have missed
Oh
it,
yeah, 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 yeah.
it
I
was
did. I
during the
did
World
see.
Cup of Qatar. So
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I was
thank
noticing the same thing, but I sort of sidelined that. But good observation there. Good
thank you
observation.
for ruining the next World Cup for us. Sec- Secondly, the first thoughts are what the heck was that and why the heck was it happening? Because the movie didn't really explain it. Like, where did it come? Where did the white spice come from? When did they crash on Earth? And like, what were they aiming to go for? And why? Who was piloting the plane? That was not really explained. It was just Chris Pratt just sitting at home watching FIFA, and all of a sudden he gets called up. Like,
Yeah,
that's nonsense.
it's just like all of a sudden, yeah, flurry of events. This happened, that happened. Yeah, you're going to save the world. Right? Yeah, thumbs
Plus,
up.
It's like
pl-
yeah, they squeezed
Sorry.
too much into it. Maybe they were aiming for a sequel that might not happen now. I don't know.
no, I think
They
they are
should have aimed,
still aiming for it, but I
but
don't know. The main
but
reason
but
which I'm concerned. No, no, go ahead.
they stuffed too much into it. If they are aiming for a sequel, then they've stuffed too much into this.
True, true. I mean, there's not much
Something.
stuff left to go with. I mean, unless of course you just want to make a story like, hey, yeah, they destroyed this ship, but the invasion still happens and the future is unchanged.
Yeah,
But it won't make
yeah,
sense, honestly.
Godzilla 1997 when 1X survived, but we never got a sequel.
This movie, I just have three words. What the fudge? What was this? I mean, I was so into the entire concept of the time travel because I am a huge fan of time travel as a Doctor Who fan.
Exactly.
But what
Exactly.
were they doing? What were they doing? Like, I do not understand the entire paradoxes that were happening again and again, especially considering the fact that why were they calling people from the past? I don't get it. I mean, doesn't that mean that you're basically risking lives of people from that time that could affect the entire future? Is the people not suddenly dying affecting the future in any way? What about that? And then besides that, the daughter being involved, I mean, I understand that she becomes like a scientist and whatnot, but why is she the person that is ruining Chris Pratt's life by telling him when he dies and how he does and all of this when it is not necessary to the story at all? He's the dad, he's going to help her based on what situation he's coming from at that point.
Hmm.
Plus,
I
yeah,
mean, global
given
warming,
yeah, and given
global warming
how
being the reason.
No, you know
to
what?
your point,
Yeah.
actually, given how we see like how much of a family person he is, um, it doesn't make sense for his character to go like, hey, yeah, I left my wife, boom, I left my
Exactly.
daughter. It doesn't make sense.
Hmm.
You don't give us any
There's no
small hints
consistency
of
to the
anything.
character.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
Chris
no
Pratt
consistency
acted
to
the
the
hell out
character
of
at all.
this. Chris
Yeah.
Pratt
For
acted the hell out
sure.
of this, but
Hmm.
it's just that the story doesn't make
The
sense.
script, it does not.
Everything just happens. You just switch off your
Yeah.
brain and just watch it. It's another doomsday scenario kind of movie if you
Hmm.
think about it.
Not to mention,
Hmm.
like, again, the whole no idea where the White Strikers first came from. I mean, we know that they came from out of the ground, but how did they get there? Is the main question.
Yeah.
How were they in the ground in the first place? Why is global warming the reason they have to take over the world eventually? Even if
Yeah.
that starts happening when they were first spotted, why wasn't anything done about them? Why did
Yeah.
they
Like
wait 30? Why did they wait that
exactly.
long?
Like
Bring
the
them
people in the
to
future, they
go to the.
had the ability to figure out time travel, but they didn't dedicate all their resources to, like,
No,
I
the
don't know,
thing is, if
finding the.
they had, that's the thing, if they had that resources to go back in time to get soldiers, why were they not able to go back in time and destroy the egg in the first place? Why didn't they just stop the invasion from happening in the first place?
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
for an advanced civilization who was able to
Exactly.
have
Yeah.
time travel, it shouldn't be that hard. I mean, your weapons are still basic.
They had to figure out volcanic eruptions from a high school kid.
Exactly. And what's
And
even
she's
more
from MIT.
astounding, exactly.
She
And
graduated.
by the way,
Yeah.
one more point. Can we talk about J.K. Simmons' character?
Yeah.
How in the world does this man have a C-130 right there, ammunition in one place, jet skis, which Mobius has been crying out about, but everything is just available. No, this guy is not J.K. Simmons. This guy is Kazuya Mishima. He has the entire Mishima Zaibatsu with him. Yeah, I'm ranting. It doesn't make sense, but that's the thing. It has to. It's a movie.
Honestly,
Here you go.
You.
Eat this pie.
I feel like they made a
Yeah.
list of things that could possibly happen, numbered it 1 to 20, and then they just rolled the dice the entire movie. Okay, this happens next, this happens next, this is what is gonna happen next. And we are all just given this pile of trash going like, here, take this, we made this is for you.
Yeah,
No,
true
thank
that.
you. No, thank you.
Let me just add 2 points. Number one, how dare Dorian, the guy who is who is having his fourth or fifth mission, and he goes on and says, and Charlie says to Dan that I'm just glad Will Smith is not alive for this. Like, first of all, this is a reference to Independence Day. If you
Yes.
go,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is an
Yeah.
Independence Day reference, and
Mm.
they're trying to roast a very good movie in a
With a
Exactly.
movie
It's
trash
which
such
I
a
movie.
wouldn't
good.
even with a movie which I wouldn't even watch if I wasn't suggested it. Second, uh, wouldn't the actions of Chris Pratt destroy the future timeline?
Yeah.
It
Exactly.
does.
What happened? We are not given any sign of what happens next.
Hmm.
Does this
Like
not
maybe
destroy the fact
did
that
the
they
future
got the.
change?
That's the thing. No, that's the
Yeah.
thing that like they managed to get the toxin from the future, right?
Yep.
So
It
they
was used
destroyed
against.
the aliens in the present already.
Hmm.
What happens then? Like
Also,
what
someone,
happens to
also
the entire
someone, someone,
timeline?
someone
Nothing.
said she's a scientist or whatever. I'll correct it. She was a colonel, not a scientist. So just before someone roasts.
Whatever
Hold, no,
she
no, no.
was, she
She
had
is a
no idea
scientist.
what she was doing.
She is a scientist. She has a PhD from MIT, which is not that easy to get into, but he's from MIT, but no one
Yeah.
thought they, instead of making time travel possible, let's just figure out where the aliens popped out from.
Yeah,
Did
just
they
for
come
Why
out
did
reference
they
for
from
the
go back in
audience,
time to
Hollow
live
Earth?
with
Sameen
us?
Sameen is a career counselor and she knows universities by heart. So if you're gonna make a
Yeah.
statement like that, yeah, I got a PhD from MIT, Sameen is gonna look at you like this, like, huh, sus.
Very,
Very sus.
very
And
sus.
another thing is, at the very end, there was a flaw. There was a flaw. You know how only in the training sessions they tell, like, hey, these creatures are attracted to blood, so don't try to, have any wounds or anything. And in the end, J.K. Simmons does this and attracts the creature with his blood. How did he know again? When he hasn't ever, been
Exactly.
deployed or anything? He made it
It's
clear he
one of
wasn't
those.
ever deployed.
Because he's J.K.
It
Simmons.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's J.K.
it's
Simmons.
yeah, that too, and they probably had a lot to catch up on the plane ride over.
Yeah,
How
go.
do they know? How do they know that that was all the whites? That was all the monsters. The
Exactly.
yeah, which were
Exactly.
ever
Like
there.
like
White
the same
spikes.
thing. Yeah, they didn't even go back to check. Maybe like the same thing that I pointed out. Like in the old Godzilla movie, there was one egg left in the stadium. They bombed it to hell, but there was still one egg left. What if there was one left here?
Sequel coming up.
Exactly. What if there was more than one female? What if? I
Yeah.
mean, they left so many unresolved things that cannot be figured out in the next movie because of all the loopholes that left in this one.
Another loophole
Anyways,
is another loophole that they left is that how they've said that the volcanic eruption happened and the ash cloud carried over to so many countries. Quick
Like
question:
900
Why
something
China?
AD.
Why China? Why Russia? It's like the other countries ceased to exist at that time. It's like,
Also, why did they need a high school student? They don't have any volcanologists or any experts. Anyone from MIT?
I mean, ask the guy who has a C-130. He might know somebody because apparently he has a C-130. That has to compensate for his shitty father skills.
Yeah?
And
Oh god.
now that we have roasted the movie, we should talk something about something good as well, because there were a few good things. I really liked the way they sort of probed the war side of thing, how war tears people and their families and everything.
Hmm.
And Chris Pratt's and that little girl, I'm forgetting her name. I'm forgetting
Yuri?
the actress's name. No, the actress's name. I'm forgetting the actress's name for Muri, but she
Hmm.
played really well for a kid her age. It was a very phenomenal acting.
Definitely was. I like the
The
white
wife
spec.
was quite forgettable.
Yeah, the
Hmm.
wife was quite forgettable, but
The
although her
actress playing his
face,
wife.
yeah, although she seems familiar, I don't know why. Where have I seen
Hmm.
her before?
Hmm.
But yeah,
it's Betty
so
Gilpin.
mm,
Not ringing a
doesn't ring
bell
a bell.
exactly.
Doesn't
Yeah.
ring a bell
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so I think there's not much good that we have to talk about, but it's just that if you switch your
Surprise
mind
Pikachu
off,
face.
I mean, I like the
surprise
CGI
Pikachu face.
effects.
Surprise
Is that
Pikachu
saying
face.
something?
Yeah, I mean CGI was good. I mean the creatures were
Yeah.
fearsome, but
Yeah,
apparently
they were.
they were descended from the stormtroopers because they were missing all of their shots.
Alien versus Predator ripoff in a way.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Aim for the neck and
And
bellies. Wow, okay, fetishizing the aliens, nice.
You're one to say.
Yeah, I want to
yeah.
talk. But before this review becomes a whole new
Yeah.
topic of discussion,
PG-18. Yeah.
the yeah PG-13 or family.
Rated R.
Family
Anyway,
F for family. I know
Rated
Umair
F.
is gonna hate. Umair is gonna hate us for this. Umair is gonna hate us for this. But
We
yeah,
don't
let's just
care.
give our final scores. Sabine, you go first.
I would give it a 3 or a 4, and that's me being generous. Because that, as much as it pissed me off, the surprised Pikachu face also made me laugh a lot.
Yeah, Sabine was only in for the surprise Pikachu face. That was it.
Yeah, for sure.
I did not enjoy that. Like,
JD, what about
where's
you?
Star Lord and where's this?
I'll give it a 4.5
Okay,
out of 10.
4.5.
Yeah.
4.5 out of yeah. Okay, of course. I
Yeah.
mean,
Not
so
out of 5.
and Kanza, what about you?
I'm gonna give it a 1.
Oh,
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 oh.
ouch,
that's
brutal.
See, because
mean.
of the fact that this was supposed to be a time travel and an alien movie, and it did none of those things right.
That's
That
mean.
one is just because this Chris Pratt.
I mean, there was
Only reason it's
a
leaving.
lot of things that were, left to our own devices. Like, yeah, hey, think about it yourself. Like, oh, why are we watching the movie again?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so my final score would be I'll give it a 5.5, and the reasoning why I'm giving it a 5.5 is because if you sort of like switch off your brain, it's a thrilling, it's a thriller. I mean, if you take out the
Eh,
logic part
and
of everything, it's like, you just
and
watch.
on top of that, it's at most it's a one-time watch.
It's a
Like
one-time
compared
watch.
compared
I
to
would
Edge of,
not
like,
watch it again.
the other movies that is sort of ripping off, like Alien, Tomorrow, Edge of Tomorrow, those movies I would watch again. This is more of a one-time watch.
True, true. But the reason I'm giving it a 5.5 is because they did a very good job at connecting narratives. Like, as soon as Chris Pratt comes back into the past, and the ways they sort of
Mhm.
connect the dots, like, okay, this person can supply you this person can supply you that. And, they make
Mhm.
the plan together. I was like, okay, narrative wise, that's clever. Logically, it doesn't make sense, but narrative wise, okay, fine. You used elements that were present there, and we were thinking, okay, they're just there for comic relief, like the kid about the
Yeah.
volcanoes and everything. He ends up being a crucial part of the puzzle. But then again, it's like it just seems comical, like that a kid would be, capable for all of that. But yeah, 5.5 is my rating for this. So if we aggregate that, it comes
A
about it comes about
four, a three.
4.5. It's a
It's
4.5 out of 10.
Approximately
So
4.5.
That
TSF
is
rating
fine.
is a 4.5 out of 10. We would just say watch it, just for that
just
one
once.
Friday, just once, laugh it off. It's a
Just for
very
the hell of
forgettable.
it.
Just for the
Yeah.
hell,
Just for
just
the
for
hell of
Chris
it.
Pratt, if you're a fan of him. Chris Pratt is a nice
Yeah.
guy. We should support him. But
His acting isn't bad. That was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that was the only reason why we
Hold
are
on,
giving it the
hold
points that
on.
we are giving him.
He jumped off. He jumped off a landing pad just to get to his daughter, who was going to die anyway because she was falling into an ocean full of white spikes, and he
Not
had
to
the only
mention,
working toxin.
not to
Yeah.
mention, the entire timeline was gonna be destroyed anyways. Why was he wasting time?
True that. I mean, if you're a student of MIT and you're a biologist who has a scientific background, served in ex-military in Iraq, that came out of nowhere as well. So I'm like, okay, yeah,
Uh,
it's always Iraq and Afghanistan. Sure, that sells it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Why
why
would they
why
go
for a
anywhere
change?
else?
Yeah, that's true as well. But yeah, I think
Anyways,
that wraps up our review. This was all that we could talk about for the for the movie, because there's not much to go around. But with that, we'll wrap up the review. Thank you for joining us. Comment your thoughts or your rants in the comment section, and if you can, try to make us Chris Pratt Pikachu face and post it on our Facebook. We'll share it. But till then, this is TSF Reviews. Take care. Bye.